Yeah, we're running. I can see the little meter going by Eric there. So we got
Ron's on the screen, and you can
a
see
little
him.
taxi meter next to Eric.
He rounds up to the hour. 2 hours. He rounds up. All right. Stretch
All right.
it out.
Yeah,
All right, Chairman.
I charge by the day when I do mediations.
You're all set to go.
Okay, we're ready. All right, 7:34. Welcome everyone to the Hillsborough Township Planning Board public meeting of March 11th, 2021. Please be advised that this meeting will be conducted virtually. All members, staff, and consultants will be participating remotely. The public will be given an opportunity to participate remotely through the advertised Zoom link or optional phone number identified in the public meeting notice. Members of the public should use the raise hand feature in Zoom or press *9 if participating by telephone to indicate that you would like to be recognized to speak. Meeting and application documents have been made available on the Township's Civic Clerk website in accordance with the public meeting notice. Applicants will be presenting remotely and will identify themselves before testifying. With that, please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Please note that this meeting has been duly advertised according to Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, otherwise known as the Sunshine Law. Notice of the 2021 annual meeting schedule has been provided to the officially designated newspapers, the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex, and posted to the Township website. Additional notice has been provided to communicate that this meeting is being conducted according to the governor's executive orders and pursuant to Public Law 2020, C-11, which allows for meetings to be conducted electronically and pursuant to the local finance notices recently established in the state of New Jersey. May I have a roll call of board members and professionals, please?
Mr. Emick, Mr. Wagner, and Deputy Mayor Lapani are absent. Mr. Ciccarelli?
Mayor LaPlante.
Yeah, Mayor.
Excuse me, Mayor Lapani. I went back in time. Mr. Peason?
Present.
Mr. Senator Amita?
Here.
Mr. Scobo?
Here.
Mr. Hestag?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Delcor?
Here.
Vice Chair Julian?
Here.
And Chair Sirachi?
Here.
Mr. Kinsler?
Here.
Mr. Maskey?
Here.
And Mr. Bernstein?
Here.
Okay, thank you. So we do not this evening have any considerations of meeting minutes, resolutions, ordinances, nor planning board business. So I will open it up to the public for matters that are not on the agenda. So if there's anyone in the public that would like to make a comment to the board for matters not on this evening's agenda, please raise either your virtual hand or press *9 if down by telephone. And I see Miss Gulliford has her hand raised.
All right. Okay, please state your name and address for the record. Spelling your last name, please.
Susan Gulliford, Hunt Club Road, Gulliford.
Thank you.
I just didn't want you guys to be bored tonight. I have a question for Neil and maybe Eric. On that Migratory Bird Treaty Act, what happened last week with the group that wants to build between over near Bottle King? I didn't understand the argument. Did they state that they didn't have to follow it anyway because they were a commercial construction or what? I didn't really understand their argument.
It's funny too, because I read something today that the EPA put out that is probably going to reverse the act that was in place when we spoke last week. But as far as I understood, there was the act that came out was challenged, and it just is based on the cutting season. So the cutting season goes from, I believe it's November 1st through April 1st. So the last thing that they said was, even if they get the cutting in before April 1st, they would be compliant with the Migratory Bird Act. But I read today that it's kind of going back to the way it was before it was kind of overturned. And they said they're not doing a taking, which means that they won't damage any of the migratory birds while they're doing that. So that's the way I understood it. I don't know, Eric, do you have anything you want to add, or?
We're still looking into that, but I will
Okay.
indicate that I don't see them doing anything quite yet because they don't have a resolution.
Yeah. And like I said, I did see, I read something today that it just changed today based in contradiction to what the applicant had said last week. It's already changed, like I said, as of today. So.
I will indicate to the board just briefly on the issue that Mr. Stewart and Miss Haynes, I believe, Walters, pardon me, did come to an agreement the day after the meeting on the language they wanted included in the resolution. So it will be in the, we have it will be in the resolution once we have received Michael's handiwork.
Okay.
Ms.
Last
Delaford,
week's
did that
meeting.
answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. I knew that public comment on that migratory bird thing had closed on March 8th, but I didn't know what had happened after that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I see a hand raise.
Please state your name and address for the record, spelling your last name, please.
Hi, Maria Janusic, Janucik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner, Block 86, Lot 3, 2155 Campton Road.
Thank you.
Excuse me, you were just discussing the attorney, Cheryl Lynn Walters, and who was the attorney for, that was Bank of America in regard to last week's application?
Richard Stewart.
His name is Richard Stewart?
Yep.
So you were saying that they came to an agreement. That was not an issue, because I remember reading a letter that was part of the file that I think was from Attorney Bernstein to
It wasn't Bank of
Attorney
America, it was
Ogrodnik.
Bottle King.
It's
There was an
Bottle
issue.
King. It's Bottle King. Ms. Janicek, the agreement, if you recall, because you were at the hearing last week, was the parties were going to try to come up with language they wanted included in the resolution relative to the ongoing issue as to the easement. They did not come to an agreement on the overall issue. They came to an agreement on the language to be in the resolution as to the easement.
Okay, so that was the language only.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And also now, so I have a question regarding Hillsborough Tools Holdings LLC. Has that application been approved?
Which application was that, ma'am?
Hillsborough 206 Holdings LLC.
No.
That hasn't been approved, because I have a copy of the resolution authorizing the mayor and the township clerk to execute a developer's agreement. Was there a developer's agreement executed between the township and Hillsborough 206 Holding LLC?
I can't answer that question. That's a matter for the township committee.
It's for township committee. Okay. Is this an affordable housing project also?
I believe it was, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the magic, yeah.
yeah, they were approved about a year or so ago.
I'm sorry, it was approved?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
at
right.
least a year ago.
Yeah, he's correct. I apologize.
Okay, so it was approved. So then the developer's agreement was, there was a developer's agreement executed between the township of Hillsborough and the and Hillsborough 206 Holdings LLC. So that is that project set to go, or are there other things that are being that you have to wait for?
No, it's up to them. It's on their timeline.
So was there a resolution passed by the planning board that this application was approved?
I'm sure there was.
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, in regard to the zone change ordinance, who creates a zone change ordinance?
The township committee adopts them.
The township committee adopts it?
It's an ordinance, yes.
Who actually creates the ordinance?
Depends. Sometimes my department does.
Sometimes my office and sometimes the township.
I'm sorry, I'm on the phone, so I don't see who I'm speaking.
Sometimes the planning department, sometimes the board attorney, sometimes the township attorney, depending upon what the issue is.
Oh, so it could be several different people that create or draft the ordinance?
Correct.
Okay, so then it's up to the township committee to adopt that zone change ordinance. Now, who has to be notified when there's a zone change ordinance?
It's not an issue before this board, Mrs. Janicek, that the
I
township.
know it's not an issue
committee-
before the board.
The answer is it's not between the jurisdiction of the board. Go to the township committee.
Okay, except that there are times when these issues do come up before the planning board, because if there are people who are required to be notified, they come to public meetings. So that should be something that is also information that can be given by the planning board.
Well, planning board notifications are anyone within 200 feet of the applicant property.
So when there's a zone change ordinance, that would apply anyone within 200 feet of the property?
Depends on the ordinance. Again, I point out, it's the township, it's within the township committee's purview. They adopt ordinance, they introduce, they adopt, they deal with that issue.
Okay, so then they would notify the planning board that there was a zone change and provide that information to the planning department?
Well, I think that information is generally provided to the public once it's been passed and it's it's notified it's posted in newspapers. So it's a matter of, public record.
Okay, it becomes a matter of public record, but then within the departments in Hillsborough, that information is given by the township committee to the planning department and to what other departments?
Yes.
Ms. Janicek, with all due respect, this is not a session for a tutorial on land use law. If you have questions, we can certainly respond to them either in writing or in the office. But there are multiple factors that go into every decision that's made, and they're all set by regulation. So if you have a specific on regulations, we can answer that at another time. But this is we can't cover every hypothetical that you want to go through.
Okay, well, no, this is not a hypothetical. I'm talking about a zone change ordinance, and there are procedures in place. So
and there are different types of zone ordinances, and it depends on what we end up doing.
Okay, I understand that you do eventually end up doing something, but a changing a zone has a specific way that it has to be done. So that's what I'm asking.
Are you asking us or are you telling us?
I'm asking you.
And what I've said is there's multiple cases and we can't go through every option.
If and when the planning board is ever involved, it'll be on one of our agendas.
Okay. All right then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I see no other hands, Chairman.
Nope, I agree. So we will move on to applications. The only one we have on the agenda is JSM at Hillsborough LLC, otherwise known as Cost Cutters Property, file 20-PB-09-A. understand that the applicant is requesting an adjournment to May 6, 2021 without further notice. And note that the time of decision provided is for June 30th of 2021. So I will hand it over to either Mr. Bernstein or Mr. Maskey.
Actually, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Wolfson,
Okay,
Chairman,
who is here on behalf of the applicant.
okay.
I am Doug Wolfson. Thank you very much. And I do represent JSM. Chairman was correct. We had requested through Ms. Paget, Mr. Bernstein, the opportunity to carry the project application to the May 6th meeting. And we were hoping that the board would announce that adjournment so that we could dispense with new publication and new notices. We were trying to make accommodations and changes to the plan to accommodate the changes in the bedroom mix and also the change for the elevations and the plans and reduce parking in accordance with the prior hearings that we've had, taking into consideration all the commentary that we got from the various board members. And that we probably could have been ready for April, but I think Ms. Paget indicated that you had a full agenda for the April meeting. So we appreciate being accommodated to the fullest extent that you're able. May is okay with us. We've checked with our people, and we would request the matter be carried to that date. And I did sign and send in, I think, to Mr. Bernstein or Ms. Paget, a consent to extend time within which the board is required to act to, I think, June 30th. Or May 30th?
June 30th.
June 30th.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure that if we were not finished in May or carried to June, that you were still protected and we didn't have to do another extension. So with that, I would request the board act favorably on our request for adjournment and then announce it and reschedule it for the May 6th regular meeting date. Appreciate that.
Any comments from board members? Any more professionals? Dave or Eric? Nope, I see head shake. So do I need to,
No, Mr. Chairman.
do I need to open up the public? Take a,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
may I have a motion to open the public?
I'll make a motion open to the public. Let's go.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, if anyone in the public would like to comment or question Mr. Wolfson, please raise your virtual hand or press *9.
Related to only the application request.
I see none, Chairman.
I agree. I don't see any. So as anyone looking or will offer.
Motion to close public.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So, Mr. Maskey, what was the last, the date that we had a last hearing?
I believe it was last year.
Okay.
Last board meeting in
Hearing
December.
was December 17th.
Okay, so we're gonna be about close to 5 months in between. The reason I'm asking is because I would have expected to see, some members from the general public from that area. So,
I think everybody's happy to see that being revitalized. So I'm not sure you're going to get typical opposition you might otherwise see, but when we come back, we'll see how it goes up. Hopefully it'll be a very pretty project that reduces the need for variance relief in a way that the board can act favorably on and support, and we'll give it our best shot to do the best we can. Appreciate the opportunity.
right. Yeah, the only reason I'm just asking is because I'm just wondering whether or not, and I'm going to throw it out to the board members, whether or not to do a renotice. No, I'm just,
Is it normally required?
no, it's not. It's just the time in between. But I will just now entertain a motion to grant the extension. And I will leave it up to whoever wants to make the motion, whether it's without further notice or with further notice, or renotice, sorry, to May 6, 2021.
I'll make a motion to go till May 6th and without a motion or without what you just discussed.
Without a notice.
Without further notice.
Republication. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Can you get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ciccarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Peason,
Yes.
Mr. Santa Ramita,
Yes.
Mr. Scobo,
Yes.
Mr. Hestag,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Delcor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Julian,
Yes.
and Chair Sirachi.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, professionals, thank you very much. I hope I didn't keep you too late. I'm gonna go down and watch Rutgers get clobbered by Indiana now.
You enjoy yourself, Mr. Wilson.
You sure you don't want to keep me a little longer? It was pretty painful to watch.
You're pretty good right now, Doug.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Eric.
All right,
No problem, Doug.
Have a good one.
so with that, all
Everybody.
right. So with that,
Mr. Chairman, you have the March 25th business meeting. There's nothing on the agenda. Do you want to cancel that?
I will entertain a motion to cancel the May 20 or May
March 25th business meeting.
business meeting.
So moved.
Boy, all right, we could say everyone made the motion and second.
I'll second it. Hashtag.
So roll call, please.
Mr. Emick, excuse me, Mr. Ciccarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Peason,
Yes.
Mr. Santa Ramita,
Yes.
Mr. Scobo,
Yes.
Mr. Hestag,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Delcor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Julian,
Yes.
Chair Sirachi.
Yes, and just a reminder, we already canceled the April 1st. And it says 2020. Look, someone tried to pull an April Fool's joke.
Yep.
April 1st, 2021 meeting was canceled. So our next meeting is a regular meeting on April 8th. I believe we have 2 items on there, but I don't think either one's going to take that long to get through. So
Correct.
as always, if you're unable to make the next meeting, just please notify the planning office, as soon as possible. And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So
Make a
moved.
motion to adjourn.
Second, Santa Ramita.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Everybody says we will not see you. Have a happy Easter.
Yes.